talking about anger, where there's not enough quiet space, feeling violated, trust is betrayed, humiliated, or robbed, out of control, powerless, deep frustration of unmet needs, fear of grief, fear of vulnerability or collapse, extending, not relief, not rescue, feeling like pouring the heart out, and the other person didn't even care or ignored. Violent images, mental images of tearing, stabbing, beating someone who makes excuses, leaves me or the other person, leaves us with regrets, or tries to wiggle out of responsibility, does not respect us. Fake apologies, invalidating comments, not being genuine or sincere, not being honest, not being authentic. Having to compete for love, attention, understanding, listening, or time. Fakeness, agendas, biases, being used. Someone who doesn't care that that the person is hurt or hurting, sad, feeling lonely or rejected. I want to pause. Just in the ebb and flow. So from Rabbi Gershon Avtzon, he says the number 48 is very important. Because if you think about it, in Pirkei Avos, in the Ethics of the Fathers, it says there's 48 qualities to acquire Torah. We can also think of this as malos, or mala, meaning height, ma'ala, levels, rungs on a ladder. There's 48 prophets for the Jews as well that were written in the books. At 48, Avram became enlightened. Some say it was a different age. At 48 times the word well is written in the Torah, like be'er, where you dig a well. You have to dig inside for the clinging, for the dveikus Hashem, the holiness, kedusha, the tara, the purity. And another comment he made, and I also want to say 40 is mem, and ches is 8, which is mayach, which is 48. So he also said, emunim is like training, emun is exercise, emuna is a work, a craft, perfecting, developing. So we could think there's many steps. You could imagine maybe 48 steps, for example. And then I want to talk from Chabad.org, the word Hatzlacha, success, by Rabbi Mendel commented and Zalman Avram. The Oxford Dictionary says success is attainment of popularity or profit. Merriam-Webster Dictionary says the attainment of wealth, favor, eminence is success. And the Latin word succeedin, followed after, take the place of another, aka successor. In the Torah, though, it's used in reference to a fire that consumes, the act of forging across a river, or a person receiving a promotion. Rabbi Meir Leibush Wisser, known as the Malbim, he says, Hatzlacha is anything that serves its unique purpose. Identify one's own path, realize the specific purpose, and achieve that which I alone was created to accomplish. Rabbi Menachem of Kotzk says, if I am because you are you, if I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I'm not I and you're not you. But if I'm I because I am I and you are you because you're you, then you're truly you and I'm truly I. Relating to myself versus contrasting to others, right? In Judaism, success is not one size fits all. It's not certain objective criteria, like, for example, getting a degree, having a good job, getting married. Rather, God creates a person with a distinctive purpose in life with the necessary talents or tools to achieve it. 1, we do the necessary work of rigorous self-examination to clarify personal path and true purpose, and it can happen in a lightning flash or dawn over many years. 2, we arrive at self-understanding. It is imperative to be true to the self and invest the full self into accomplishing what we are sent here to do. And 3, when we have failings or challenges or setbacks or fallings, how we grow and improve and evolve and learn and become who we're meant to be. So, in other words, this we talked before about 48 steps. But let's say they get divided, 1, into doing the work, including the rigorous self-examination to clarify our personal path and true purpose in it. That can happen at any moment or over many years. 2, getting a little tired, arriving at self-understanding. We have to really be true to ourselves, invest our full self, basically fully show up, fully be here. And 3, let the ebb and the flow happen. Okay, continuing. When facing defeat, we can see the reaction. For example, give up. We blame others. It's like a defense. We could see it as a dead end or see it as a learning curve, a rededicating to the goal, a collection of the self. And we could see it, as we can notice us as not being deterred, deflated, to be a success according to Judaism. Basically, just not giving up is successful. So success is really more of an attitude, the effort, not the outcome. Fortitude, tenacity, perseverance, making it through. It's a faith, not just when we're on top of the pyramid, also even when it seems like we're at the bottom. And in Proverbs, it says, 7 times a righteous man falls and gets up, while the wicked, are tripped up by misfortune. Now, there's 2 more things I want to share based on all this. One is thinking of a piece of ourself, right? Because we talked about basically one of the aspects is showing up fully, not compartmentalizing. So this means whoever we are, we notice. We don't necessarily say, I am that, but we say, I feel like that, or it seems that way. Another thing is, I processed a very difficult setback. I thought I made success. I met a guy I was going to marry, maybe. And part of me knew for sure that it wouldn't, but that unconsciously, right? But I really was like acting as if it would be possible. And then I had to process him actually leaving and moving away and admitting to me that he was never really going to marry me. And he wanted to just cut himself out of my life, delete himself, disappear. So this is what I wrote. This is about over a year ago. A year and a couple, actually it's about a year ago. It's a leap year, but it was about a year ago. A leap year was the Jewish leap year, sorry. It's about a year ago, either way. So trusting it was for the best and highest outcome, knowing when God closes one door, another door opens. And believing that the dreams that attach me to the person on the outside are still with me, and I'll be whole. I'm not losing a piece of myself, moving on only from what is not me after doing the corrections and necessary repairs for what temporarily carried a piece of me, like putting a piece of myself in there, right? It's basically like looking for a piece of myself, bonding through someone else. Hashem will be with me during the transition. I will not leave me alone because I released him with love. I did all I could to ask him to stay and to make decrees and beg and be present and accepting to plead for my desires in my case, but without force. And I watched the car actually drive away. He saw me there at the end. When it left, he flashed me one last big smile from the car. I cried as much as I needed whenever I felt grief or hurt from what felt like being abandoned, discarded, rejected, devalued, and I gave gifts and food and hugs and blessings before in honor, and the honor of staying by the van from when he arrived there at the van until they all left to the airport. And he spent time on his last day texting with me, made time to meet me for a hug, a second hug, even though I'm, within the time after the period, I was afraid that maybe I wasn't pure because, someone really who's actually going to be married. And the night before he came to see me, the night before he left, he came to see me for 2 hours. He kept trying to cheer me up, sharing good words, wanted to pleasure me. He gave me a lekach, which is a piece of honey cake, and this $1 he said that they gave out. They were trying to do it on behalf of the Lubavitch Rebbe. Used to give out dollars. You can Google that, dollars from the Lubavitch Rebbe, to find out more about that. So he gave me one that, the Lubavitch Rebbe passed away in 1994. Some say he didn't pass away. But either way, they sometimes do the tradition of giving out dollars on his behalf. So he made sure he did teshuvah because he actually went on my phone and tried to delete pictures of himself. He felt like he wanted to delete himself from my life so that we wouldn't be stuck. So I wouldn't be stuck. He wanted me to be able to move on. He claimed he wanted to give me a chance and not forever be wanting more of him while he wanted to be independent. He wasn't ready to get married. So when he made a plan to end things, completely, when he went to Israel and didn't think it through, or that it was stealing to go on my phone with my password without permission, and probably he wanted to force me to not ever show anyone or implicate anyone in what he didn't want anyone to know, because they were pictures of us in love, kind of, so anyway, he claims he was stressed, anxious, overwhelmed by everything. So he made it up to me. I said we have to take new pictures. So the new pictures never will replace those pictures of us in love. We used to go for sweet walks together, touch each other. There was a very innocent sweetness, but I cried a lot because maybe just the grief of is this really it? It wasn't. But then feeling like, the part of me didn't die when he left. I was still had that piece of myself. So we took those pictures. I said it was 5 pictures for each that he deleted. So I felt he was taking accountability. There's a law, if you steal a sheep, you have to give 5. And you use it and you can't return it, you have to give 5 back. So I told him, if that's the strictest thing, then take 5 pictures of me. So I had to accept his desire and his choices. And then I want to talk about the other thing I mentioned was the aspects of myself maybe to spend time with. So this is a version that's shy, and I won't say they're all still alive. It's been a year since I wrote this, and I will say that I've been, working on my consciousness, just paying attention and seeing and noticing what's happening and trying not to get stuck in the mind games and the mirror, the maze of mirrors. So this is an aspect, and remembering that these are thoughts, not always believing every thought that I have. So shy, serious, reserved, private, self-assured self. The one that takes each day fresh, sees life in a new way, open to what is going to reveal itself. The twinkly-eyed, many expressions one, harsh and soft, gives good advice, and humble, royal, and beautiful. The small, petite, but developed and refined features. The one that eats very quickly, unaware of bad breath. Ooh, it's like roasting. The one that's sensual with a golden touch and wants to please, sensitive, willful, not necessarily picky, but particular about preferences and taste. The deep, non-materialistic, unbribable, brave, not super social, but always around people. The one not into technology, quick thinking, cheers up the sad. Loyal, wise, and smart, good sense of humor, chasidisha. In other words, Hasidic, which means pious, going above and beyond. Mashiach, thinking about Messiah, wanting to make the world a messianic place. The one that is good taste in music, clean, careful, delicate, strong, enduring, not taking most things personally, forward-thinking, positivity, outlook, inconsistent, sometimes late or poor time management skills, patient. The one that likes to feel needed, likes parks and good conversation, language, long walks, good memory. The one that enjoys a good night's sleep, doesn't like to spend a lot of money, and can get by on little food and rest if necessary, a good learner. And the one that is calm, safe, accepting, can relate, is present, a good listener, rises to the occasion, bears the heart, transparent, honest, and reassuring. And so as we have our own self, we don't need to see these versions in anyone else. They're with us. And it just takes time. As we mentioned, the success of showing up and being in touch with the real self. So that's all for now. Good night. Bye.